I'd say let's start off with the NFC West.
Okay,
I think let's start off with the NFC West. How you feeling about that?
that's fine with me. You know,
You want to start off with the team that finished last, or you want to start off with the team that finished first? I think they're both
there we
intriguing,
have.
whichever way we go.
Yeah, you know how we're gonna continue to do it. We're gonna set the tone now. We're gonna start from last to first,
All
and
right. Well,
and work our way up.
I think this is going to be actually a really good one. So let's start with the San Francisco 49ers that finished last in the NFC West. I mean, they might be the best contender to go from worst to first in the NFL, right?
Yeah, by technicality, yeah.
For sure. I mean, you get the last place schedule, and I think probably the easiest schedule in the NFL. God damn,
Oh, it
man.
is
What you
by
talking
far,
about?
by far. You
And
cut my
let's
light
see.
on. Go ahead.
Let's see. Let's see. We're going to,
Go ahead
I'll
and
do a
see.
quick rundown. What'd you say? What'd you say?
You know what's up? You know what? I forgot that they was the last place team in
Yeah.
the NFC West. I thought we were gonna work our way up to them, but like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and just get it on out the way, bro. I'm sick of them. You know, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm cool with. Like, I really don't have an issue with the actual team. I understand that they've been the bully, been a nemesis to my team per se in the playoffs.
For
So,
sure.
like I said, I should have some real disdain for them. But me personally, I respect people. I respect the process more than I respect, more so than just I'm just going to give them genuine hate. Now, I hate George. Now, my hate for George may come out for them. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the actual team, I respect it. But they have way too many questions, and
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
so hyped to just come in and just go through all the questions that they have. Like, they have a question at wide receiver. They have a question that CMC is going to turn back to. I'm not even saying greatness, just back to regular. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They have questions on this defense. They have questions about Brock Purdy. They have questions about they have a lot of questions. And like I said, I was so ready to go. I'm sorry. I was so ready to go on a rant, like, oh yeah, this over. This run that they was going on, the window closed and all that. But this easy schedule that they have is just putting them back where they want to be, right on a silver platter. And it's pissing me off.
Yeah. And I think you actually might have been too nice from just kind of where you said they have issues. I think they have issues at every single spot at wide receiver. I think at every single spot on this offensive line outside of Trent Williams, they have an issue. They have a tight end issue because I mean George Kittle, he getting up there in age. Can he age like Travis Kelsey, or can he kind of flip the switch when they need him? I don't know if this offense will allow that. Like you said, they have a Brock Purdy problem. That not only do they have a Christian McCaffrey problem, there's a running back problem because Isaac Goriendo's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan James is hurt. This team just gets hurt. They I think their running back meeting room was built on an ancient, Mayan burial ground or something, because it's just haunted. Their running backs always get hurt. Yes, they somehow find some as the season goes, but yeah, this defensive line, they couldn't stop the run last year. Outside of Nick
Mm-hmm.
Bosa, who's getting pressure? You brought in Michael Williams. You have to hope he becomes something, but I mean, to me, you're banking on a whole bunch of young players. Michael
And,
Williams, Alfred Collins, CJ West. Like,
mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
you need at least two of those that like at least be league average when you talk about hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Fred Warner, uh D Winters, Nick Martin. What's that other linebacker going to look like?
Mm-hmm.
This secondary, like I said,
Um,
I like Renardo Green. I
I,
like the Upton Stout
I
draft pick,
I do too. I do too.
but again, you're banking on a young player to hit. So it's like,
At the
and
same
yes,
time, from the go ahead, go ahead.
and I was gonna say, yes, they do have an easy schedule, but there's some games where they can take some L's if this team is who we think it can be on the low end. But if everything actually clicks and say Brandon Ayuk comes back healthy and somehow this offensive line figures it out and some of these young players hit, then yes. But it's an easy schedule because, like we said, it's the last place schedule. But there's some games on here that it could be tough, especially as we go through it. Some of these teams I actually think can give some people some hell.
And the thing about it is, like I said, they're banking on Robert Saleh coming back and fixing their defense. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Bringing back some normalcy that they haven't had since D'Amico Ryans left. You know what I'm saying? So that, even though they're familiar with them, they're familiar with the system, they're familiar with how to operate, they're banking on him to ease the transition for their depending on the rookies. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool. Like I get it. If I was a fan, I would feel good about the draft picks. I would feel good about having Robert Saleh back. You know what I'm saying? I would feel good about this. Offensively, like Ricky Pearsall isn't shot. Like, even though he has dealing with a hamstring, but he ain't shot this offseason. So he had a normal offseason. Jawan Jennings is a reliable person on their receiving core. You know what I'm saying? Do I think he's that good? Absolutely not. I'm not a fan. They are a fan, and he is a fan favorite. Third and Jawan is a real thing for them. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, some of the things that they've done some of the things that they had to do differently offensively, which they were forced to do, can actually help them evolve offensively. Kyle Shanahan can't just call, the same old plays that he been, even though they work. Don't get me wrong. Even though they work, he has to change his pitch. You know what I'm saying? He had to throw a slider this time, throw a changeup this time. He can't just consistently just come out there and do what he's been doing. They have, like I said, don't get me wrong. Don't let my reservation deter 49ers fans from the way that they are feeling, because they are supposed to feel better about their team. They're supposed to feel, hey man, we've definitely injured last year. We ain't gonna be this injured this year. We're gonna definitely make some changes. We went and got a better defensive court. We got a defensive coordinator that we are familiar with, that we know we're gonna be here for at least 2 years. We ain't got to go back. We don't have to go have a revolving door of a defensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? We end up drafting people that he wanted to help, alleviate some of the, learning curve. With them transitioning from Debo, from their wide receiver core. Ricky Pearsall, an actual route runner. When Brandon Ayuk come back, a route runner, somebody that Purdy can actually rely on, so he can throw in anticipation, because he know that his receivers are going to be at the spot that he needs to be. Like I said, don't let my disdain for George and my reservation deter you as 49ers fan, because like I said, it is a reason to be optimistic. This is optimistic season. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this schedule is just so easy. Like I said, I wish I could come in and just, pull out the 40. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we smoking on 49ers pack today. I wish I could. And when that time comes, trust me, I will be doing that. But I can't do it myself just because of this easy ass schedule, dog.
Right. But hear me out. This schedule is easy, but let's just look at it like it's a realistic possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but even with this easy schedule, they could start 1-4. Because Seattle,
who's the first 5?
The Seattle. So I mean, not 1-4, but they can be 1-3 in September. Sorry, forgot it's only 4 weeks. But they start the season in Seattle. That's not a given that they can win that game. Because that defense can play them tough, especially with Mike McDonald. Not saying Sam Darnold can be. Oh, here you go. Not saying Sam Darnold, was going to light the world on fire like he did with KLC. It's a possibility he won't be terrible. It's definitely a possibility he can be terrible. Saints, they gonna cook the Saints.
Oh, barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken. That's the get back game right there. That's to get your confidence up right there. But then you got the Cardinals. Cardinals improved their defense. They did, there's some stuff. You got healthy Kyler and MHJ.
Who the next team?
Jacksonville Jaguars. It's not a given
It's not.
that they can win that. So you go Seahawks, Saints, Cardinals, Jaguars. That ain't just like some, oh, we about to beat them down and start the season 4-0 because it's season easy. And then the game after that is the Rams. If Stafford ain't got no trick back, that's a tough one. And it's a Thursday night game in Los Angeles. And then after that, they go to Tampa.
Okay.
So on its face, it looked easy, but
it started off rough. It could get ugly.
Yeah, and then I mean, yes, they had some easy games, like that they look, but I'm high on the Panthers. I think the Panthers could be something. So again, they're improved. The Bears, who knows, but they could be improved. The Giants, who knows, they could be a team that's not a pushover. I'm not saying that they're going to win, but that defensive front against those dudes on that offensive line can cause some hell. That's all I'm saying. So, yes, on paper, it looks like they have an easy schedule, but as you go through it, it's some unknowns that we don't know. And it could put this 49ers team in trouble, especially if they have this perceived easy last place schedule.
Everyone in Denver was pretty impressed with 49ers last week. Now, this is the beauty. Shouts out to Jacob. But this is the beauty of where you're going to get your sources from. Because I personally seen that Denver was just busting their ass. And it was nasty for the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't thoroughly research to see the other side. I just seen one Denver report and I kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying Jacob is wrong. He could be perfect. He could be absolutely right. I'm just saying the purpose of what you see on your algorithm is all I'm emphasizing right here.
Yeah, but we definitely appreciate that.
Shouts out to Jacob. Now, we went in the West injuries, man. Our wide receiver, we win 10, 11 games this year. Pretty Ricky will be our number one wide receiver. We def starting off slow, though. So, finally, we got some absolutely objectivity, some saneness from George, because he did say they're going to start off slow. And the games that you just highlighted are definitely toss-up. These ain't just, like you said, these ain't just give me games, like you said. They could start off slow, but then that's the thing about when it comes to these 49ers. Once they go on a run, you know what I'm saying? I've dealt with that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, personally, there's no Ravens on their team to shut down all their momentum on Christmas.
Exactly. Oh, man. Yeah. But let's move on to the Cardinals, man. They were third place, right?
Yes.
Now, the funny thing about the Cardinals, I'm gonna let you have the floor with the Cardinals, because you were high on them last year, and
yes,
they was trying. They had their moments where they was trying to make your take like hit, and then some moments they realized they was the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'll use the words of the late great Cannon. It just didn't curl enough. You know what I'm saying? I tried, and sometimes this happens to me. I might be a year too early, and I think I might have been a year early on the Cardinals because from what I've seen, I've actually liked some of the things that they've done. Jonah Williams and Paris Johnson, they're not the best bookend tackles, but they're NFL caliber players. You know what I mean? Trey McBride, if Brock Bowers didn't exist, he could have easily been what you call the best tight end in the league to some, just by the numbers. He had a season like that. He didn't get in the touch in the end zone a lot, but nobody gave Julio any demerits when he didn't get in the end zone. I did because but and then you got right, and then you got a backfield of James Conner and Trey Benson, and James Conner has been like our running back list. Hey, say what you want. He's reliable. So that offense could definitely do some things. They have another year in that system. And again, they spent all day. They pulled a me and Madden. They spent all their resources on defense. They said, hey, look, we not doing that again. And from what I've seen, Will Johnson been looking like one of, and you bring in Walter Nolan, but just in case, the rookie takes a little bit of time, the smart thing that I've been wanting my team to do, you bring in a Calais Campbell. He don't even have to be good. He just be big and mess stuff up all the time. You bring in a Dalvin Tomlinson.
I
You
think
bring
Dalvin
in a
Tomlinson.
Josh Sweat.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so I like what they did. There's some guys in the secondary that, yes, we have some questions about. But like I said, you got a Jalen Johnson. You have a Will Johnson. I mean, a Jalen Jones, my bad. Jalen Jones, Will Johnson. And then you still got Buda Baker. This defense ain't terrible. And if Will Johnson look like who I think he is, hey, they could be something. If Denzel Burke out of the Ohio State could be something, guess what? They could do some things. I like this. Paris Johnson is going to be pushing for All-Pro. I like this take. Steve, we're going to remember you, Steve. We're going to make sure we come back to you as the season goes and see how Paris Johnson is looking, because I always root for Paris Johnson because he's from Cincinnati, even though he's from my rival high school. I love to see everybody from Cincinnati do good. So, I think, like I said, I might have been a year too early on this team, but I really think that this team can push to give some people hell, especially because, like I said, if you get Walter Nolan to come in and look like Walter Nolan, like I thought Walter Nolan could look, and then now you got him, Josh Sweat, Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson on that line all rotating, that can cause some issues.
And I think that you forgetting, not you forgetting, but people forget that they traded for Brandon Browning last year. And what happened with that was a position for Zaven Collins to just go ahead and be a role player and move him around as well. So now that you actually have pieces, projected pieces to go with with a defense that was a bunch of no names that was playing over their heads. Like, saying the scheme was doing this thing. It's like, okay, you give you an optimistic look about them players. And you forgot about my guy Cody Simon.
Oh no, I did not. But yeah, Cody Simon.
Say you come on, yeah. But I like everything that they did through the draft. I like everything that they did. Oh yeah, last year, right? They drafted Darius Robinson last year, right?
Yeah, Darius Robinson's still there.
And he got hurt last year, so
So now he get a full off season. Yeah,
they did everything right.
Yeah, this was one of those like under the radar, really good off seasons. Because it's not the sexy team to talk about, but this was a really this is one of those off seasons where you go like if this team actually takes that step, you can pinpoint where it all happened. Like I bring up I take this back to that 2000 like going into the 2021 season that we had when we start bringing in some players. It did like the Mike Hilton signing and Cheeto signing and stuff like that, and DJ Reader. It didn't look pretty, but it's like, damn, that's where this defense really took a step. This offseason is where you can really point to and be like, this is where that defense really took that step.
But I hate to be that guy, and I hate to do
it. Of course.
It's all contingent on how Kyler plays, bro. Like,
yes.
I don't. With everything that we've said about the optimism that we have about this team, you can name people, Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride, James Conner, Trey Benson, the offensive line, the defense. Are they good enough for Kyler to be regular and they still win? You feel what I'm saying? Can he just be average, or the game manager, the bus driver, like average? Yeah. Can he be average and they still achieve their goals? Or does he actually have to play above what he's been playing? You know what I'm saying? Like, he has to be good, a legitimate. He has to be a top 10 quarterback. If he plays like a top 10 quarterback, dude, now they actually do get to achieve. I think they do achieve all the goals that they're actually trying.
And
to
this is one of those things.
Are they good? Are they good enough for him to be average?
Right. I think that like we say, he's coming off of he's a year away another year removed, I would say, from that ACL injury.
Mhm.
If he's possibly more comfortable to use his legs also, that can open up some things and just limit the mistakes also. I
But
think if he can limit the go
I'm
ahead.
hearing some things. I'm hearing like he don't want to run no more.
Right. But when the bullets start flying, I hopefully it
I mean,
changed.
you gotta run. You gotta run in, but like more
Yeah.
so like
But
the design runs and stuff like that. Like they
but
saying
even
like he don't
even
want
then,
to do it.
if they limit the design runs, like the scramble drill, hopefully, like if you could just utilize that, that can open things up down the field. That can open up some, yards after catch, things like that. Even that alone can open up what they can do. So I think that it can it can take this team to a different level, even if it's not just the Kyler design runs, but just scramble runs. Rolling him out and giving him, the option to run or pass kind of thing. Stuff like that just
Mhm.
can even change this offense. So I'm interested to see how that works or
Before
how
we
it goes
before
per
we
se.
move before we move on, I do want to shout out to Steve. And this is the one I want to really respond to. He said Kyler won 8 games on the team that played the 5th toughest schedule and lost their 5 best defensive linemen. That is true. Like I said, that's not an excuse. That's an
For sure.
explanation, right? But
100%.
when when you watch some of those games, it was some of those games that they lost, and it was kind of like, what's that?
Yeah.
But one of those prime example in the preseason game during the Chiefs, that interception that he threw, and we sitting there like, what did you see? You didn't see him? That was just a terrible decision. Some of those games that they lost last year, he made some terrible decisions, and
Yeah.
it was games that they could have won. Now, like you said, if you just rein in some of those decisions, and maybe you can play average, and they win 10 games. If you just limit your mistakes, those 8 can turn into two games off positivity right then and there.
Yeah, for
It's a
sure.
possibility. But if you also continue to play the same way that you've been playing, you can it could be another 8-win team.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think if it's another 8-win team, people are not going to be happy.
I mean, it's once again, I hate to be that guy, but it's one of those make or break type of seasons for him. Kyler was trying to
Yeah,
be cute
absolutely.
again,
And I think
and once again, trying to be cute in the preseason. I ain't about
okay.
to I ain't about to hey, bro, it's the preseason. This is where you supposed to track stuff. Just, you know what I'm saying? I get it. But we have seen those passes in the regular season, is really what I'm just trying to say. So, but I'm not putting that against him. And I was just using that as an example because we have seen that play in the regular season last year. You know,
And also, as we said, we talked about the 49ers, how they have an easy schedule. They're in the same division, but they just played a
yeah,
third place schedule. So they got a lot of the same teams that the 49ers have. Unfortunately, they do have to, see like the Commanders, who we don't know what they're going to be. But that could be a possibility. They have to go to the Vikings.
yeah,
We don't know what they're going to be with JJ McCarthy. They see
a
the
lot of toss
Colts.
ups.
So it's like schedule alone, it could be one of those favorable schedules for them where they can go on a run as well. So I'm not saying so this could, like I said, you want to be able to see Kyler turn into a top 10 quarterback. But if he's 14, 15, it may not necessarily, not tank their season, but limit their season of missing the playoffs. You know what I mean? If
Where
he's
he at
kind of
now?
just outside of that and he's, has some okay, if he's inconsistent, but he has some of more highs than lows, they can really make the playoffs still with this schedule.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's move it on, man. We got is the Seahawks,
Seattle,
right? Yeah.
yeah. The Seahawks, man, this is a tough one for me because certain coaches, when it comes to quarterbacks, it's like when you leave, I just don't know who you're gonna be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so what I can say, putting Sam Darnold with Clint Kubiak ain't the worst place he can be.
I like it.
Is he is he KOC? I don't think so.
Hell no, he
But
ain't in KFC.
exactly. But I think I think he could make something happen. And another thing about Kubiak, he gonna run the ball.
Oh yeah.
Those Kubiaks, we know the tree that they come from. You just put somebody back there, they can get 1,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw Jackson Smith and Jigba look like the number one slot in the league last year. And then, of course, they traded DK Metcalf and, let Tyler Lockett walk. But they brought in Torrey Horton, who is a sneaky good pickup.
Mm-hmm.
And and words out of camp,
He been
like you said, it all depends on who you listen to, but words out of camp, he been looking good.
Yeah, for sure. Got Cooper
So
Kupp as well.
you got Cooper Kupp as well. So it's like the guys that you are going to consistently believe in, it feels like they're going to operate all in the same space. But we've seen Jay, like those Ohio State receivers sometimes are like Coach Cal point guards. Once they get to the league, you be like, oh damn, you can do everything. You really do it all. You're really a number one. So I think that it's a possibility that they'll be able to kind of, really open up the field, even with JSN. But then, of course, they brought in MVS. He can, take the top off the defense. He may not catch it, but he can take the top off the defense.
Clifford Franklin.
So I think if Kubiak can get 80% of what KOC got out of Sam Darnold, I think that this could be one of those teams that could be in contention to win the division. Now, I ain't saying a playoff game because he's still Sam Darnold. But I ain't going that far. But they could be in contention for this division.
I think the funny thing about I emotionally at first, initially when the offseason was going on and they was making their moves, I didn't agree with some of the moves, and then I sat back and thought about it. They've never took their medicine off moving on from Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
They actually, it was supposed to be the rebuilding year, and the next thing you know, it comeback player of the year, Geno, all of a sudden expedited the rebuild. But they never got a chance to rebuild and reset. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they have, they didn't achieve anything, but they haven't really sat back and said, let's get it together. Now, they had been Grubbs as the offensive coordinator. He did not align with Mike McDaniel because he was just chucking it. You know what I'm saying? So when you bring in the Clint Kubiak, when you know he's going to run the ball, it's like, okay, did I agree with them moving on from Geno? Absolutely not. But the fact that I know that the emphasis is going to be running the ball, I do believe that they can at least get a 75, 70, 80% of what you just saw from Sam Darnold. I believe that. And I also believe that if he can he can be average. I believe so. That he can just be average and protect the football, their defense is going to hold it down for him.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Some of the things that they did, going to get DeMarcus Lawrence, I've always said from a Cowboy. I always said the moment that he's leaving the Cowboy, he's going to the Ravens. Okay, he didn't go to the Ravens, but where did Mike McDaniel come from?
The Ravens.
Exactly. So I feel that he's going to fit this defense perfectly and set the tone. He went, he's reuniting with his former D-line coach. I like the draft pick. Nick Imuwari. Yeah, there you go.
My dog.
There you go. Here. I like that. I like them getting. I like Greg Zabel. They've had a philosophy of devaluing the offensive guard position, and it's been coming back to bite them. You know what I'm saying? So
I know the team to do that.
I know, bro. I'm sorry.
But let's not forget they also got Christian Haynes last year, so
And
that's
I was just
back to
about
back Jones.
I was literally about to say that, but like I said, they got him last year. He got another year developing. You get a great Zabel. It stabilizes the offensive line. And like I said, you put in that zone running scheme that Clay is going to do. It should help this offensive line. And like I said, the play action should be able to do just a ball control offense is always a defensive coordinator's dream. You know what
For
I'm saying?
sure.
Now, is this about to be over the top, Super Bowl contending team? But I do believe that they are going to be a playoff staple.
For sure. And like we said, they have Kenneth Walker. He's had trouble staying healthy. But you had a Zach Charbonnet who's always looked, more than capable behind him. And a sneaky late round move that they did was getting Damian Martinez as well, who
Absolutely.
who has shown he can handle number one running back touches as well. So I think that offense, if they're gonna focus on the run, even if you lose Kenneth Walker to those injuries, I don't think that they're going to miss a step, or it's going to be one of those things where it's like, damn, we got to kind of put the ball in Sam's hands. And I think they have, a good stable where they can continue going. Like you said, the defense, like that front with adding DeMarcus Lawrence is tough. Like you said, you already have Byron Murphy who look pretty damn good. And let's not forget he's injured right now, but the guy that you wish you still had, they got Jonathan Hankins.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, and he's not even a star. Like, he's just going to be a rotational guy.
Rotational piece.
So I think that something like that is huge. So, you can force teams to put the ball in the air. And when you got, Devin Witherspoon, Julian Love, you brought in, like you said, Nick Imawari.
Your secondary is real.
With the pass rush that you can get from Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Byron Murphy, that can cause some problems. So you might have, especially like I said, with one of to me, one of those best defensive minds in the league as far as confusing people. Yes. Mike McDonald, he puts in those offenses where it's like it looks so bad where your team doesn't, like your quarterback doesn't even want to put the ball in the air because he doesn't trust what he sees. Like, and I've seen it firsthand. And so you'll get some sacks, you'll get tip balls that go up in there, you can get turnovers. It's just going to be one of those defenses that's going to cause hell. And the pieces that they brought in, this quietly has potential to be a top 5 defense or even higher.
And more so, like when he got the job in Baltimore, it took some time for him to put his imprint on the defense. And the moment that he put the imprint on, boom, it was triple crown on the defensive side for them. And like I said, Seattle was doing the same thing. They was taking some time, but then once they finally hit their stride, it was legit. It was the problem. It was a philosophy problem that he had with Grubb. It's like, bro, stop throwing the ball. Let my defense rest so they can be the defense that I want them to be. Like you say, now you have a Clint Kubiak, like I said, that you can look at him and be like, look, bro, I know you're gonna run the ball. Or hit him, or at least hit him with a good play action, a good ball control offense that can go and help our defense, because that is the strength of this team.
For sure.
And at the end of the day, Sam Darnold, you get, like you said, you did all you could do. Like last year, you did all you could do with not say apologizing or defending Sam Darnold, and he let you down those last 2 games. Like so he's going to go through that again. However he plays until he gets to that promised land again. He did that. Like I said, he's the new Kirk Cousins at this point now. Like,
for sure.
Kurt on the bench. So somebody got to be another punching bag. And like you said, he ain't Dak, he ain't Kyler. He ain't one of them, but he in the Anthony Richardson territory of you gonna get this criticism every time until you show us. Daniel definitely. Jones type.
I'm about to say let's go with Daniel Jones, because at least Daniel Jones like been here longer.
I feel. My fault. I was just naming people. Let's get to the division champ, man. The Rams, man, and everybody's just so optimistic about the Rams. The Rams is they're a contending team. I feel we on the same page.
Hey, I ain't trusting no old man with a bad back, dog.
I've tried to beat you to it, but I felt we on the same page, bro. I'm sorry,
bro. You need your back to do everything. You need your back to get out of bed to play football. Yes, we've seen the highlights of Matthew Stafford throwing touchdowns with crack ribs, and oh, he's so tough, bro. Just a consistent bad back? Absolutely the fuck not.
You can't even practice now, bro.
They had him on the Jetson bed trying to do some type of fixture to his back. That's when I knew. I was like, oh yeah, we're doing the NFC West first, because I got to talk about that. This don't look good, bro,
at all.
I don't know how. I do not know how he's gonna make it through the season. How I really don't know how he's gonna make it through the season. Lamar Jackson hurt too. The offensive line.
Yeah.
The offensive line, and bro, it ain't like you got the Broncos offensive line or anything like that, like one of those top tier offensive lines. No. And guess what what Stafford is? A statue. A statue with a bad back and a bad offensive line. You know what that means? Told them Harlem Hospital's handing out beds.
Beds out. They all in beds out, bro.
Because hey dog, I don't know what you gonna do. It's about to be Jimmy Garoppolo season.
And you don't want that.
We don't want that. We do not want that. I think this I don't even my bad. Go ahead.
It's like I got the optimism, Devontae Adams with Puka Nacua, it's good. You got Kyron Williams, Blake Corman's the backup. The other dude that was running all through the Cowboys, the other running back, even he looked good. Jared, everybody loved. Yeah, Corey Schrader. Everybody loved Jared First, Braden Fist. Got that. Cool. Bro, this secondary is bad.
3 downs of ass.
And then on top of that, I think we forget this a lot when it comes to team. Like, I get it. The last impression is always the most recent. And they fought hard. They was in the playoffs. They could have won the playoff game. And I do believe if it was in clear, regular weather conditions, they would have beat the Eagles because they got hot. Before that, they run on that run to get to the playoffs. Do we remember this defense was ass?
Yeah,
like
because they couldn't cover nobody,
and they couldn't stop the run either.
Yeah,
I get it. Everybody, like I said, we love Braden Fitz, we love Jared Verse, and they played well. They played good. They are good. This defensive line is one of those ones. I think
they did kind of do something. They did like they brought in Puna Ford, so they they understood that they couldn't stop the run.
Brought in Puna Ford. I get that. And like I said, he one of the ones that but he is a stabilizing force. Everywhere he's been a stabilizing force with improving the run defense. So, I'm good. I'm cool with that.
But like I said, I don't really have much to say about this team because with the quarter,
it's Matt Stafford's back.
With the way the quarterback is situated, I that's where it starts and ends for me.
Yeah, they don't even like. Jimmy G. If Jimmy G plays, come on now. Stetson Bennett plays, come on now. Like, nah, we're not going for that. We're not going for that. As great as Sean McVay is, we got you, bro. Like, as great as Sean McVay, he ain't done nothing without his starting quarterbacks. Let's be honest. Like, It ain't like he out here like KOC that's out here making people get
Josh
paid.
Dobbs. Josh Dobbs got a whole nickname from KOC.
So like, all right, hey,
like I said,
I have no disdain, no hate, no nothing about the Rams. If Matthew Stafford is healthy, this is a playoff team. If he is healthy, but like I said, if he's not, this is about to be bad. And once again, they are in prime position to get off this exit ramp. They have draft capital to do some things to get a next quarterback in the draft. They are prepared to do that. And they are one of those. They F them picks is one where we got it from is them. So we get that. But like I said, it's really nothing else to talk about. Like I said, the secondary is trash. They're gonna have to go get somebody regardless. If stand back, Matt Stafford is healthy. But if he ain't healthy, it's nothing that they're gonna do, bro. I'm sorry that we gave them the shortest time, that the number one, the reigning NFC champ. They got the shortest time, but it's just that simple. Sometimes it's black and white.
Yeah.